What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm ODJ and we are locked in. This is the Harley Fall Who is Nat Love. Nat Love is played by Jonathan Majors in the movie. And I must admit, he does an outstanding job with it. Way better than I was expecting from this show. Now, Nat Love is a real cowboy. We see there's a difference between how he was in real life and how they portrayed him in the movie. He also has a cross on his head in the movie because Rufus Buck and the Rufus Buck gang were terrorizing him. But that never happened in real life. They didn't know each other, and he didn't know any of these other characters also. But it makes for a good storyline. Before we break it down, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of it, hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, we're going to break down Nat Love from his beginnings up to when he ended up passing in Los Angeles, California in 1921. Nat Love is a true American cowboy, so let's jump into it. This is the Harley Fall Who is Nat Love. In 1854, Nat Love was born into slavery in the state of Tennessee. He learned his skills of roping, herding, and branding cattle and horses as a young boy. Now, at this time, there were laws put in place that didn't allow you to teach or to read to slaves. Nat, fortunately, he found out how to read and write. He also loved to read books, is what they tell us. After the Civil War, when thousands of other slaves were freed, his father was a free man also. His father then went and got a farm, and he started this for the family to support them. He later passed away. Now, in the movie, we see his father and mother was killed by Rufus Buck, and Rufus Buck was his brother. Unfortunately, that storyline isn't true, but it did make for a good movie. At this time, his father passes. So by the age of 15, Nat, he's still at the house trying to help out, help keep the farm maintained, but it's not something that he really wanted to do. He ends up winning a horse at a raffle, and what he does with this horse is he sells it. The money that he makes, he gives half to his mother, then he keeps the other half. With this money, he takes it and he starts to head towards Kansas. Nat moved to Dodge City to find work as a cowboy, and this would led him to start doing cattle drives. We see in the movie he was a bounty hunter, he had money on his head, but he was actually doing good work and legal work. He was just, using the cowboy skills that he learned when he was younger. This cattle drive took Nat all over. I'm talking about Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, throughout the Midwest, the northern Texas. He ended up with the cattle drive. He ended up in a city called Deadwood where he won a shooting contest. When he won this shooting contest, he did so good. The city of Deadwood, they gave him the name Deadwood Dick. Now, there was other people with this name, but he's the most famous person with it. There's a legend that says Nat was out traveling one day on a cattle drive, and a tribe of Native Americans, they actually ambushed him, and Nat had to try to fight his way out of it. Now, they said he was captured, but the tribe, they noticed how brave he was, so they ended up letting him live amongst them. And at this point, he was living with the tribe out on the plains, and it's said that the chief actually liked how good he was a fighter and how much bravery he had. He offered him 100 ponies to marry his daughter. Now, the legend is Nat refused this, and instead he stole the best pony that they had and rode away with it. Now, in 1889, Nat eventually gets married to a woman named Alice. In the movie, we see that his love interest is Mary, and that's Stagecoach Mary. Now, Stagecoach Mary, I'm going to do a breakdown of her. She was a wild woman also, but that's not who Nat actually married or who was with. He married a woman named Alice, and they had one child. As he was getting older, he left the trails. You can't be a cowboy forever. And he became a pull man on the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad. And that's where you bring it in the trains and you're just making sure everything is good. He later wrote a book. Well, there was a book published about him in 1907 called Love's Memoir, The Life and Adventure of Nat Love. It was published outlining the storyline of his cowboy life. It's believed that he was passed in 1921 where he's about 71, but there are other reports that say he was about 67. So in between 67 and 71, it's about a 4-year difference, but that's what they say Nat was when he passed. Overall, I think they did a good job with the integrity of Nat Love. Of course, it was a lot of fictional things in there, the cross, him hanging with Jim and Bill. He didn't have a posse or a crew of anybody, no gangs or anything. He was a legit worker, cattle herder. He did have excellent shots, so I respect them for bringing that in and having them be cool, calm, and collected from what I'm read. You never heard about Nat in any story that I've seen that he lost his composure. Even with the Native Americans, he fought back. He was brave. He held his ground, just like they showed in the movie. So overall, I think the depiction of him was very great, and I respect the whole show, the harder they fall, for what they did with Nat Love. There you go. Who is Nat Love? Let me know if you heard any stories about him. And if you have, comment below. Now, I have family in Oklahoma, and they are some cowboys. I know my mom tries to convince me to go down to the black rodeo. I think I've been once when I was younger. I need to actually go down there and see what my heritage is. But let me know if you have any cowboys in your family, if you have any history in the Midwest. I'm Mod.J. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.